Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paige Campbell Show, episode 35. We're back. Same cast as last episode. This is Kenn Edwards and WInston Hodges here.
Yep. It's me.
It's me.
I feel like I am encroaching upon what your listeners are used to.
That's great.
I feel like they are upset.
Right.
I feel like one of their parents is a new daddy. And they don't know what to make of it.
It's like the stepfather coming in.
Yeah.
Like, you're not my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Just get out.
I just want your listeners to know that I don't want to replace Noah.
Right. We might try to call him.
I was hoping that
Yeah.
Noah could still be involved in their life while I was here.
We'll have to figure out, like, some sort of, what's it called when, the kid has to, live with one parent, 1
Joint
week.
custody.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out, some custody deal. Paige Campbell Show, you'll get...
I have to say, we're a minute and a half in,
Okay.
and this is the first time I have ever podcasted with a microphone, and it is way too alluring.
Yeah, I really
I
like it.
just don't want to stop talking
I know.
and trying to do bits
Yeah.
and making faces and head gestures at you guys.
Yeah, you definitely try to do a lot more bits when you have a mic.
It's a lot more crowd work.
Yeah,
with the podcast.
There's crowd
Yeah,
work with these
microphone.
guys. Try to get my cat to.
So where are y'all
laugh a little
from?
bit.
Where you, so where you guys from? What do you do? You're a comic. That's funny. It's good for you.
That's funny.
Oh man. So Paige, you on Facebook?
Kind of. Yeah, we were talking about Tinder before it started, and we're gonna talk about Tinder now that we have started. Still trying to find my Tinderella, as is Winston.
Yeah.
Ken's married, so he
I
doesn't
am.
have to deal with this crap.
Tinder's fascinating to me, though. Like, my friend let me swipe on his app once and just judge endlessly at
Right.
a party, and it was so addictive. I get why people are addicted to it. Like,
It's addictive, but I wish I wasn't on it. It's so superficial. I hate it. You know.
yeah, but
I love
you're you're both single men. Like, I always think about that.
We're both single men.
Yeah.
I'm trying to match with single women.
I always think about that Aziz bit where he's talking about how, when you just want to go into a bar and just, eliminate everybody you don't want to be with.
Yeah.
It makes more sense to me.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I'd rather just be in a long-term relationship. It's so sad.
Right.
So I think what it is
It's
to
depressing.
me is it's like with anything in my life is the end goal is really nice to me, having getting a girlfriend, being in a relationship, that's good, but just the idea of beating a video game on the hardest difficulty, getting to the final screen is really good, but I don't know if I'm ready to put the work in to actually make that happen.
You gotta get all the
I'm at that
trophies.
point. Right now I'm talking to a girl on Tinder right now as we're doing this podcast.
All right, well.
She's like, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, not bad. Hanging with friends, recording a podcast."
Nice.
Just trying to get it in while I can.
Sound a lot more serious than it is.
We're kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. Do a podcast. Maybe people listen to it. If I'm lucky.
I mean, you could find it on YouTube. You can listen to us right now.
It's on YouTube and iTunes. Sometimes I Periscope it. Not right now. But sometimes I Periscope it.
But hey, listener at home, you could Periscope this listening of this to other people, and
That's
then
true.
this could be being Periscoped to other listeners through your Periscope.
That's awesome.
So it might be being Periscoped right now for all you know in the future.
Periscope's a cool thing. I always forget to use Periscope. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's the most innovative technology.
I Periscoped our 3 sets at the 7 Arrow show.
That's
See,
awesome.
See, I have Periscope. I don't think I've ever used it because I just I already go over my data bill
Yeah, I gotcha.
like a lot, way too much.
Oh, I forgot to tell you actually that you were getting a lot of hearts when I went back and rewatched it for some of your jokes.
I rewatched it, and it was weird because I was getting a couple hearts, but
Some hard
I
ones.
think they thought I was you. Because there was a point where, remember that point where Trevor yelled
That's
at
not
me
true.
to do my church joke? So I was like, I think church is like preschool. And someone commented, it was like, come on, Kenn. And I was like,
weird.
Well, I'm Paige. This is Paige Campbell joke. So it seemed like they got offended, but they thought it was you.
Yeah. Well, You're welcome.
Yeah.
Now
appreciate
your
that.
name is cleared for that Periscope viewer.
Getting some hearts. Probably the same viewer.
Some hard-ons.
Okay,
Some hard-ons.
but for you to be on Tinder, you have to have a Facebook account.
right.
And Winston wanted to ask you about what your I've asked you about this. What are your Facebook issues?
I don't know.
Because I'm about to judge the shit out of you for your Facebook issues.
I definitely could start from scratch and like start like a new Facebook. I don't know. It's the type of thing where I used to have one, and I just got tired of like the type of people that were on it because it's not like the type of people I want to interact with. You know what I mean? They're not necessarily like bad people, but they're not the type of people that I want listening to my jokes.
But you don't mean Facebook type people. I think you just accepted too many people as friends at
Yeah.
one point, and that annoyed you.
Yeah.
Like from this point, you could just accept who you want.
Sure. The straw that the initial straw that broke the camel's back was
Campbell's back.
timelines. The what?
The Campbell's back.
The Campbell's back. The straw that broke the Campbell's back was the timelines. Like I had one for a while and was like getting tired of it, and there was like a point where like timelines were like a new thing, but you didn't have to get them, and I was like, I'm never gonna get a timeline. Like for some reason, I just hated them. And like the day they like forced you to have one, I was like, all right, I'm gone, and that's the day I deleted my account.
What's a timeline?
It's like the thing on the main page of Facebook where you can just like when you log into Facebook, it's just where everybody's stuff is popping
Oh.
up. That's the timeline.
Right. Okay.
No, I think like your account is like a timeline now instead of like just a normal.
No, like if
page.
your actual account, like your page, is Paige's
Because it
page.
used to look just
is-
like Twitter. Like it was just you scroll down, you can see
It's
everything.
not. Yeah, it's not like that anymore. But it's like the way that it works now is you log in and like the very first thing you see is the timeline, which is scroll. Like it's just everything everyone's posted. And you can just scroll back as long as you like want, and you can pick what people. Like let's say someone's saying like ridiculous stuff on there, you can click you don't want to follow their stuff anymore.
Okay.
So you're still Facebook friends with them, but their information will never pop up on your timeline. Like you
Okay.
have to like search out to see like, what they're doing. But then if you go to your page, it's still just your page.
My
Your page.
Yeah.
It's the page.
The page time too. My issue with Facebook is that initial timeline, they insist on it being the most popular instead of the most recent. Like Facebook really
I agree.
wants you to click on things. They want you to see certain things so more advertisers get money than for you. That's their concern more than you seeing what you would be interested in.
Yeah.
You can't even set it as a default thing to only show the most recent topics.
That's why I love Twitter is because it's tailored to you. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like you follow the people that you want, and that's it. You know.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Just
like the
get-
same thing with Facebook though.
That's not what he just said.
No, but like you still follow who you want on Facebook. You get what I'm saying? Like like the only.
But
like,
there's so much more advertising on Facebook. Like it's gotten on Twitter, but it's not nearly as bad as it
I
is
think
on
it's
Facebook.
eventually going to get as bad because Facebook's a little bit older than Twitter.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just a gradual timeline of like when something else comes out, like when Facebook came out, like and then Twitter came out and everybody started jumping on Twitter. Like that's when I started to notice the advertisements coming, and I think we're just like one social media site away from.
Yeah, like I always think about how I think of Twitter as cooler than Facebook, and sometimes I'll post on Facebook that all of you fuckers should just get on Twitter because it's way cooler. But then do I only think Twitter's cooler because it's not full of the people that I interact with on Facebook?
Yeah.
People that I know personally.
Yeah.
So maybe it's all bullshit. Maybe it's...
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like to me, like Facebook seems like it's more for like long distance family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
It's
like
like
it's.
I just don't.
And
It's-
networking.
That's the big thing.
that's the big
That's why
thing,
like I
since-
feel like you've got to do it like especially because you want to be a comic and it's like, I mean you are a comic but you know what I mean like you want to end up eventually where it's like this is your like livelihood.
Yeah.
And Facebook's been like the best thing for me because like some of the older people that run bars and stuff like that they have a Facebook account but they're not gonna have a Twitter. You know what I mean? Because they've
I see what you're saying.
and
yeah.
it's like
and
yeah.
their bars will be closed in a few years.
Yeah, exactly.
that works. It'll be gradual.
Because they
like,
don't get a Twitter.
Yeah,
they'll have
exactly.
way too much advertising inside of their bar.
got the Facebook.
Yeah.
You want me to learn a new one?
But I don't know. Like that's the main reason I have it is because I have some of the same issues with it that you do. Is like I've had it so long, and like my business Facebook is still like I've got a fan page, but like my business Facebook is still. I'm still friending people, and I've still got all my friends I've had since like I had got a Facebook originally, and I'm the type of person where I'd feel really bad if I just started defriending people.
And that's the thing too. People like take it so personally. Like, oh, you're gonna friend me on Facebook, right? It's like, probably not.
Yeah.
But now we're in the age of mute.
Yeah.
Where they're not going to get a notification if you defriend them.
Yeah.
And if they just post shit that annoys you, you mute them and never have to see it again.
That's what I do.
Yeah, but it's the type of thing too where like if I post crap that annoys them and they don't necessarily mute me, like if I offend someone and like I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to have to deal
Don't
with
friend
it.
them. Like,
Like, well, I
that's the
don't
main
like
thing.
it.
Is don't
Right.
friend them. And the good thing is like people, what my go-to move is if someone friends me and I don't want to friend them, like I don't
Yeah.
want to friend them back. If you click ignore, it gives them the option to keep friending you. But if you just never click confirm or ignore, they're not friends with you and they can never click again. They
that's
just
great.
sit in your friend list awaiting confirmation. And that way, if someone says something to you, you can be like, "Oh, I just didn't get your friend request. That's so weird. You should try it again." Nope, still don't have it. And you never have to be friends with those people.
See, the inherent contradiction I face is that like I don't want to follow a lot of people. I don't want to be friends with a lot of people. I don't want to have a separate like page where people like me if they like my comedy. To
Yeah, that
post
seems
shit.
so like.
It seems so like presumptuous that
Yeah.
like anyone cares
you
because I'm
can't be
such
my
a
friend,
nobody.
but you can like me.
Yeah.
that's okay.
Like, but so I want as many people as possible to see the ads that I share. So I befriend literally everyone who sends me a friend request. I just mute them the second I don't know who
get
they
what
are
you're
on my
saying.
timeline.
Don't they cap it at a point, like at 1,000 or something? Not a thousand.
It's a
but-
pretty high number. Like it might be
I
2,500
mean, I'm nowhere
or something
near
like that.
Right.
anyway. But yeah, Facebook sucks, and I wish it were all just easy. I wish it were easy to advertise, and I wish people would just come out to open mics and just want to laugh.
Yeah,
I agree. That'd be nice.
I get why they don't though.
Yeah, me too.
I do too.
Like, would I just go to an open mic if I wasn't performing?
No.
No, I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Like I had friends say to me recently, like, because I was bitching about how to get people out to shows, and they were like, because I was saying stuff like you could advertise, maybe we need to advertise more and stuff like that, get people talking about it, and they were like, dude, you could literally have people in my face all day, every day, shoving ads at me, and I'll never want to take my free time and go down and listen to amateurs try shit out.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but I get that. But people out there listening, just know that you'll really make some people's day if you go out to the local open mic.
You'll make my day.
And
Unless you talk.
well-
Then I'll yell at you.
Well,
Yeah, but I mean, we're presuming people all over the world are listening to this too.
Yeah.
Like, go somewhere where even we aren't performing and just listen
support
to
it.
people.
Just be
Yeah.
a part of a scene.
Have a drink.
Yeah, you don't have to perform to be a part of the scene. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like,
That's true. It definitely, comedy is definitely a two-way street, and
Like-
the audience is almost just as
'Cause
important
I'd-
as the performer.
yeah, I definitely consider people that come out to like multiple shows that don't perform. I'd still consider them part of the scene. You know what I
Vincent
mean?
Audebray.
That's what I was
yeah.
like. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know him at all, so I didn't want to like name drop him. But he's really nice and he's everywhere, and he's like definitely part of the scene because it's like super supportive.
Yeah.
I saw him the other day.
He's great. Can I plug something real quick?
Yeah,
involving
go for it.
him? Everyone out there, I know Paige likes comic books and stuff, so they might also like comics and stuff.
Definitely.
Vincent and I did a podcast together called Project Batman, where us and our friend Sean came up with a Batman story, and we're going to make it into a movie. And episode 1 is Vincent pitching his initial idea of the script to us, and then the next 49 episodes are us together, like writing, arguing, bitching about figuring out the script and how to write
That's
it
awesome.
until we figure it out. And then episode 50, you can hear us do the final reading of the script, and Vincent like scored it with the original Batman animated series theme behind it, so it just like reads like a radio
That's
play.
awesome.
Just listen to episode 50 of Project Batman, and you can hear an awesome story that we did that's set between the series of Batman the animated series and Batman Beyond. And I think
Is it out now?
yeah, it's we did that a few years ago. And if you just want to read the script and see some of the animation we already did on it, go to BatmanImmortal.com.
That's sweet.
That's sweet. Do you have like any idea of when it'll ever be done?
Well, the hard part was I entered it going like, look, I want to be credited as the writer.
Right.
We're all writing and we're all directing and stuff, but like I really helped with the story structure and figuring that all out. I knew step 2 would be much harder, which is like getting our goal after getting a full complete script is getting a full complete animatic, where we just storyboard every scene and put it together, edited, so it looks like it's all sort of moving to get an idea of everything. And we hired voice actors, and you can hear us talk to voice actors on the podcast after episode 50 and stuff, and record some of their dialogue and everything. But the thing that sucks is our friend Sean, who was involved, he was just sort of, he helped with the writing of it, but he was sort of waiting through all of phase 1 of us writing to wait to get to the animation stage. and he could have been animating that whole time.
Oh, he knows how to
yeah.
animate.
Yeah, he's an amazing artist, and but he can't do it alone.
Right.
Like, it turns out it's much harder to release an animated film than it is to release a live
Especially
action
when
film.
you don't own the license, you know?
Yeah,
Like, it's
well,
Batman.
Well, I mean, if we did it for free, we could have a Kickstarter and release something for free. And
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't matter. Like, we could do that if we wanted. We'd release it on YouTube.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, right.
But fucking yeah, once we got into phase 2, suddenly shit changed in Sean's life, and he left town, and Vincent and I were left. Like, it's weird. We're always getting new likes on our page on Facebook. Like, it's just seemingly spreading. We're always getting downloads on the podcast. There's over like 2,500 likes on the page.
It's sweet.
But, like,
Awesome, yeah.
so we're always just waiting for someone to reach out and be like, look, I'm trying to storyboard this shit so you guys can like present it to somebody to get a real thing going and like put it up on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
That'd be
Because
clutch.
if we could have a full animatic of the 80-minute movie, then and put that up on YouTube and just have a Kickstarter go up and with a video and be like, go watch this animatic and think of how cool this would be to watch this as a movie. And I think that would be all we needed to pay anyone to
actually do it.
to actually animate it. Yeah, we got people that sound just like the Joker and what's his name, Kevin, the guy who does Batman.
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, it
That's
sounds
so
just like
awesome.
him, but yeah, it's one of those things that like you hear directors say they have projects that you know, when it comes out, you've only heard about it for a year, but when you interview them, you're like, when did you get the idea of this? And they're like, 12 years ago.
Right.
It's my idea of like, hopefully I'll have made some headway in filmmaking, a comedy or entertainment in some way over the next part of my life, and one day in the future I'll be able to finish that story.
It's awesome. Animation's like, I wish animation was easier, you know, because
Right.
like it has such a steep learning curve, and it's something that I've like always been interested in like doing, but it's just like it's so hard to like every time I've tried to research it, it has such a steep learning curve.
Yeah, man. I mean, I did my best. I tried to do a few storyboards, but I was like, I cannot sustain doing this enough to learn enough to be able to animate this whole
Fair enough.
animatic.
That's wild, though. Yeah, I love animation.
Yeah, you're super into animation.
Yeah, I love it. Love everything about it. And it's just like, I think I like it so much because like I can't draw or anything. Like I just have a very poor like, I don't know what about it, but it's like, I don't know, fine motor skills, I guess. Like I can't like, like I've never been a very good like visual artist. So I've just always respected it and loved it, and I just love that you can do anything with it, like go anywhere for the same price of like you could do an episode of a show in the house. You can do an episode like they're in the Grand Canyon, or they're in space, and I love everything about it.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's just amazing to me. But I still like I'm still like reeling over like your comments on like social media, like just Facebook, like that your idea about it. So it's like, what do y'all think about like Instagram?
I don't really like Instagram. I'm on Instagram, but I don't really like it. To me, it, like you take something like Twitter where you can put up posts and put up pictures,
Yeah.
and you strip it away and like just do pictures. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
Like why would you want less?
I get it in the sense that like some people just enjoy visuals and pictures and can look through coffee table books of like just photos.
Yeah.
So like it's just going through a timeline of what people are visually seeing as opposed to their thoughts. I think it's cool as like a separation thing. I get it as a separate idea. I don't like it as much as Twitter because I'm more writing minded, but
Yeah.
like into words. But I get it. And also when you post something, you can comment on it as long as you want.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's very
and
true.
that there's no word count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say though, like Instagram, like one thing I don't like about it is I kind of use social media for two things, like putting up jokes and self-promotion, you
Yeah.
know? And Instagram is useless to me for self-promotion because
Well,
you
it's not-
can't put a link in the comment or in the description.
I
So it's
think-
just like
I think the good thing about it with self-promotion, just like from what I've done, is it allows me to like when I'm performing at like in front of different crowds,
Mhm.
it's really easy to take a quick picture and like post it to Instagram and like link it to Facebook and Twitter to where like that picture will pop up and it's like, oh, this is my crowd. Like,
Yeah.
like people like that video I posted from that like church show last week, like on my Instagram where people are just going like nuts or whatever because I'd get them to get pumped up at the beginning. It just looks like, oh, we're having a fun time at this show. Like we should probably go catch one of Winston's shows.
Right.
And it just seems somehow it looks better or fancier. Like when I was posting all those pictures from the Weird Al show I went to a few months ago, like I did link on Twitter to my Instagram instead of just
so many
posting them on
filters.
Twitter.
It does look better.
I don't even use the filters, but for some reason the presentation,
it does
like
look
we've all
better.
accepted Instagram is sort of like
I've never used
this is
a
where
filter in my
pictures
life.
go.
Yeah.
Like, so
I don't think I have either.
I don't like the filter.
Well, like,
I've used black and white.
oh, sure.
Right, well, I've got like the reason I bring up Instagram because this is just crazy to me is like I have a first cousin, and she's on Instagram, and she's not like what she does is she like sells like face cream or whatever for like the company called Nerium, and she like loves doing that or whatever, but she's always had a huge Instagram following.
Yeah.
Like she has almost 30,000 followers.
That's
Is she hot?
I mean, yeah, she's a good-looking girl.
That's
But it's just
lot of
but it's like
Instagram-
absurd. Like, and I totally get that. But it's like I respect her because she obviously knows what she's doing to get that many followers. But
Right.
I'm like, I want that. Like, I want 30,000 followers for doing comedy. But it's like I do not have the body to do that.
Mhm.
Like, but it's absurd. Like 30,000 people, and they're all men.
No,
Oh,
I agree.
yeah.
Like
Every single one of them's men, and it creeps me out.
How old is she?
She's like. I think she's 19 now, but she's had that Instagram since she was like
That's
16.
what's creepy. There was this girl at my high school, and like she had like a couple thousand followers on Instagram, and it's like she was like 17 when she started it, and it's like there's so many just like dudes following her.
Well, yeah, I for a while on Instagram, let's get to the point on Instagram, by the way. I followed Harley Quinn Smith, who's Kevin Smith's daughter, just because she's in his movies now, and when she's on his podcast, I think she's funny. But she clearly has like a friend group and stuff, and she posts pictures of like them like dressing up like in like cute dresses they went and just bought, and I was like, nope, I cannot. Even though this is not even the reason I'm going to it, that like Winston's showing us this picture.
Absurd.
Yeah, it's absurd. But
it makes me mad because it's like she like I'm not saying your cousin, but the girl from my high school has no discernible skills. She has nothing going for her other than she posts pictures of herself and uses 50 hashtags. And she has several
is that
thousand
so?
followers.
People love hashtags on Instagram. I don't get it.
Nice.
Yeah. What's her Instagram?
Gotta follow that.
Backwoods gal _ You can find her in her 27,000 followers because she's got discernible skills. Like she's a good marketer as far as like selling this like company she works for.
You said she's your cousin?
Yeah, she's like my first cousin.
Will she like tweet like the Paige Campbell show?
The Paige Campbell-
Post like a picture.
That's what I don't know how to approach her with that because I've been like, hey, like I've tried to be like, hey, like you think I'm funny, you should definitely like I want to get her on a podcast. Like I think one of like because I want to start doing a podcast too, and like do a podcast with her and be like, hey, you should definitely link this out to your fans. Can you imagine though, like that happens and then like all three, like I start a podcast and then all three of us have 27,000 people immediately following it. Like,
that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Because I would just love to do like a call-in episode. Like I would just love like to have people call in. That'd be so fun.
Yeah.
You know.
I have to imagine the crossover on anything is so small, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, even if 27,000 people saw that link, I'd guess maybe 1,000 might even consider it.
Yeah.
See, but that's not,
True.
you would think that, but like the big thing on Instagram with the people that have all those followers is they'll be like, hey, follow my friend. And they'll post it. Because there was one time she did it, and the girl that she posted the picture of immediately got 5,000 followers.
Wow.
So
Just people follow it. So what I would want to do is take a picture with her, have her be like, hey, follow my cousin. I'm on this podcast with him. And they would listen to hear her, and you're like, awesome, I've got these followers now. Let's hope that they liked what they heard so much that they want to come back. But she's an excellent marketer.
She's
I
always
respect the
welcome on
crap
the
out of
Paige
it.
Campbell show.
Yeah, just
just would like to throw that out
she's
there.
always welcome you anytime.
If she wants to post like an Instagram pic, like listening to my totes favorite podcast.
That's what I'm trying to get her to do is come out to
TPCS.
like a comedy show. I want to get her to come out to a comedy show and take because it's like, I mean, she is such a ridiculous good marketer and she's selling the crap out of this this Nerium stuff and the stuff seems to work. So like good for her. But like she didn't go to college. She just like started doing this out of high school and it's like she's way better off like right now than I am. Like,
Yeah.
it's like and I'm
And you went
6
to
years
college.
older than her. Went to college, like got a degree, and I'm just like.
on the Paige
no.
Campbell show.
trying to get her to re-Instagram my stuff.
I gotta finish that thought earlier, just because I don't want anyone to think what I was saying was messed up. I had to stop following Harley Quinn Smith just because of how she was posing it. Because I was like, that's not
She
what I'm
looks
here
a lot
for.
older than she is too. She's
Yeah.
like 15.
Yeah,
And she looks like she's like 20.
Yeah.
It's insane.
it felt really wrong.
Yeah.
To even be there for a different reason.
Yeah. Man, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like insane to me. Like it's mind blowing to me.
I wanted to talk about we were at McAllister's, and because Winston had to get a French dip.
It was delicious. I was so
Nights
hungry.
after having his vegan coffee.
Yeah.
And Ken brought this great topic to the table. He said, what was it? I'll let you. It's your topic.
Okay. I said, God is allowing you to put on a comedy show, guaranteed audience. You can pick anyone that you want to perform. The two closers are doing an hour. The two people before them are doing half an hour. And then the person before them is doing 15 minutes. And we all inferred from this information that you would get to host.
Right.
If you're picking, you get to host because we're comics, and that'd be fun for us. And also, since I said it was God, presumably we have access in this never going to happen scenario to people who are dead.
Now the question is, can we is God gonna get offended? You know what I mean?
No.
God
God,
Pick like a really atheist comic.
yeah, God created that atheist comic.
God has an excellent sense of humor.
Yeah.
All right.
I fully believe that.
Okay. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's such a tough question.
It is because, like you brought up, like it's not your 5 favorite comedians. You have to put on a good show.
Yeah, because like if you have 5 favorite comedians that are really different, it might not work as a show. You know, it might just seem really weird if like Jim Jeffries goes right after T.J. Miller. You know what I mean?
But maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. Like Meltdowns like that. Like I know we used to think of the Hotspot like that. Like a bunch of different types of comics, like
Yeah.
one after another.
That's true. I don't know. For me, one of the hours would have to be Louis C.K.
Does he close out your show?
I don't know. That's tough. What are you looking at, Winston?
Well, I was.
His phone
I'm,
in general.
I'm listening, paying attention, but also swiping right.
Trying to find your Tinderella.
Trying to, man. Love doesn't stop for anybody. It doesn't stop. Not for God's comedy show at all. But like, would you close out with Louis?
Well, what do you want to go chronologically? Like we'll each just do.
Yeah. Okay. So your 15-minute. Who's your 15-minute?
Well, God, presumably putting up this perfect scenario for me, right, is going to make sure that nobody's going to leave.
Okay. Sure.
So just to see what the crowd is like.
If you leave, you get dropped to hell like immediately.
No, you don't get to leave. You're just there. Sorry.
Yeah. This is your purgatory. Suck it up. You're not going.
At least Purgatory is a bunch of comics, even if you don't like them. That's why the first 15 minutes are going to be Jesselnick.
That's true. That wouldn't be a bad.
Oh man, I was just getting ready because I know I said a different answer earlier, but I was like,
Jesselnick,
After
man.
Jesselnick, every comic would have an idea of what the audience was like.
Yeah.
That's a good point. He'd be great to like set the tone, but the worry would be that if he offended everyone, like, would everyone be okay with comedians for the rest of the night? You know what I mean?
Well, wouldn't they be that much happier if right after him there's somebody completely inoffensive,
Yeah, I could see that. So you follow up Jelsenik with
like a
like a Pete Holmes, just like someone really just like fun
Goofy and
silly.
silly.
Yeah, I'd do that. Yeah, so we figured out my first 2 acts then, Jesselnick and Pete Holmes.
See, I was thinking like, because I know earlier I said it would be like Mitch Hedberg, but I do like your idea of like I was just thinking like maybe Jesselnick. I do think that whoever's the 15-minute spot has, in my mind, to make the show work, it needs to be like a one-liner comic so that you can get as many laughs in as you can in those 15 minutes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When I'd said this before with Tom, I said Dimitri, but
See, Dimitri would be a good one too, but it's someone that's got like one line, like someone like I like Dimitri, but like if I don't know, like if it was knowing what I'm going to put as my next 4, I'm trying to find one that kind of falls like in that same similar like vein of like a one line, and I can't because like I'm thinking maybe Stephen Wright, Like Stephen Wright would be a cool way to open, or like Emo Phillips because he's so weird. And but like Dimitri Martin would be good. Or
Bo Burnham.
Bo Burnham would be another good one.
I could see Bo Burnham because that would just be like a lot of
like
fun.
maybe
Yeah.
honestly, like if I'm gonna open up the show, I'm gonna do something weird. Is if my choice would be between Mitch Hedberg and Maria Bamford, just because I think they could fire off a bunch of jokes in 15 minutes, and and just because y'all gave me crap for not having women in my original 5, I would say I would have Maria Bamford doing the opening 15 and just killing it. I think because she's someone that's like she can be dark and weird, but at the same time she's got the goofy and silly stuff that it's like.
Yeah.
And I think she would crush for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I think she would go. So Bamford is who I would have opening up with 15.
I think I would have T.J. Miller do the opening set, just because he seems like such a fun, like silly comic.
Mhm.
It would be a lot of like, he seems like he's really good at warming up crowds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd go probably T.J. Miller.
So I made my second one. Probably Pete Holmes. That's safe.
Yeah.
Safe bet. Just as good as any. I love Pete. So who would your guys' first 20-minute or first half hour set be?
It sounds like a cop out, but I might have to go Pete Holmes too.
I'm just gonna end up changing all.
Then I'm gonna change my answer.
Okay.
That gives me fun to do.
Because mine are because I'm
but it's
definitely
so tough. Like
It is.
yeah.
'cause
But we
I
have
don't
so
know
many
if Pete
options.
Holmes right after T.J. Miller would be that good, just because it's like it's kind
Yeah,
of
they're similar.
They're similar.
They are very
yeah.
similar.
So I actually, you kind of won me over with the Jeselnik idea. Not Jeselnik, but someone like Jeselnik who's darker to open.
Yeah.
And then for contrast, someone sillier.
Yeah. Pete following Jeselnik definitely works for mine, but
That's
I don't
great.
know about
Yeah.
TJ.
So you got Pete following Jeselnik on yours. You sticking with Pete following TJ?
I don't know, because they are so similar. I'm trying to think of. I might go Hannibal instead of Hannibal Buress.
Okay.
Not the cannibal.
Not Hannibal the cannibal.
Hannibal Buress.
He just comes out and
first
eats
30.
everyone.
I'm gonna end up changing all.
Man, I
five.
really ate it out there.
like the more that
He
I've
killed.
yeah the more that I've thought about it, I'm like gonna end up changing all of my all my answers from
Okay.
the original. So it's like Maria Bamford doing 15, and then I think that would go straight into a half hour of John Mulaney.
Okay.
And I think just because he's just
I almost said him. Yeah.
I
that's
just
awesome.
love him. Like I love I'm so excited for his new special coming out Friday, and it's just like I think what I like the most about him is like I feel like a lot of comics that are like his age are they have a looser feel to their sets,
Mm-hmm.
but all of his stuff is so written so tightly. Like he ends his special like New in Town with the line and he put on glasses to show that they're the passage of time. Like it's just like so, you know what I mean? Like because it's like such a great bit, but
He still reminds me of like a more alternative Seinfeld.
and that's why I like him. It's because
Yeah.
it's like I think Seinfeld's one of the best like joke writers
Mhm.
ever, but I do like that John Mulaney still has this silly, like at least a silly, goofy vein that you can get from Bamford to him.
Yeah. Did you watch his show?
I did.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, people hated it, but I was like,
Dude,
I
I
feel
thought
like if he'd given it more time,
I
like,
thought Nassim Pedrad on that
it was excellent.
it was the best. It was like the best output she's ever done.
Yeah.
I loved it so much.
So I would have Mulaney. So who would be your third half hour?
Oh yeah. Okay.
I need a second half hour. Third
Second half
third
hour,
on
third,
third on the
yeah.
bill. I need a woman.
We all do.
We talked about Tinder for like 15 minutes.
I'm not going to choose my wife. I'll probably just pick Sarah. I love Sarah so much.
She's really
Silverman. I just watched her new movie and I didn't like it.
You didn't.
She's excellent in it, but
Just not a fan.
I don't know.
It's like a drama, isn't it? Which is
Yeah.
kind of weird.
It weirdly, and this sounds so pretentious for me to say, but like one aspect of it really reminded me of the joke, and at the end of it, I
Nice.
just I burst out laughing because of that. But I don't know if it would
Yeah.
make sense to anyone else like that.
So we got Sarah Silverman going
Yeah.
third.
I don't know. My initial when we were talking about it earlier was Pete Holmes and Hannibal doing 230. But I feel like those three, like with TJ in there, are like way too similar.
Well, if you have Hannibal in between them, he's such a different cadence.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you just switch those around, you could still do those three.
Okay. Yeah, I would do that then. So you got TJ
Hannibal
Miller, Hannibal Buress,
Then
Pete Holmes.
I think third, I'm gonna do Louis.
Nice.
Doing 30 minutes. And I think the main reason is that's like, I want it to. It's like in my mind. Who do you think is less silly between Mulaney and Louis? Because Louis'
just
early
depends.
stuff's really silly.
Yeah, it just depends. Like, cause
Louis is less silly though.
Okay, because
Because
that's
Mulaney's never dark.
okay, because that's what I'm thinking. Is it's like you got Maria super silly up top, and then you got a less silly Mulaney, and then a little bit less silly Louis, who's still silly, following up after that. So it's like, so I'm slowly trying to break this audience from it. But at the same time, I don't want them to leave the show being like, oh, I didn't see anyone goofy. You know what I mean? Or like after the show, like be like, oh, well, it wasn't goofy. You know, I didn't get any of the stuff that I like. So I would definitely do Louis third.
right,
Now to the big ones.
big ones.
I know my last two. Should I save the last one?
Yeah, just
Say
do
the last one.
the first one.
Okay. Paul F. Tompkins.
Oh, nice.
wow.
That's a good choice.
I love him so much. What he's like my favorite comedian.
I haven't
Really?
watched his new special. I need to.
I'm not gonna watch it again because I'm gonna wait till he releases his version that has the 40 minutes that were cut out.
See, I'm waiting for the unedited version too,
Yeah,
but I haven't
that's
watched
awesome.
the edited version.
Yeah, yeah. I just think he's the best. Like objectively,
I haven't
right
gotten
now,
I haven't
he's the
gotten
best.
into him yet. Like I've like seen some of his stuff.
You've seen
but
Laboring Under Delusions?
I'm not sure.
I've called that my favorite special very many
I'll have
times.
to check it out.
I mean, there are so many specials I'd call my favorite special, you know, but
because I've
like,
seen
which is a contradiction to what you said
Yeah.
on the or what we were saying on the last episode,
Yeah.
using the word favorite, but
yeah,
Right,
so many
literally
favorites.
my favorite special.
yeah.
But I mean, I liked Paul F. Tompkins, but like what I know him most from is like I saw his 2 Comedy Central half hours, and I thought they were really funny. But I'm not sure
he's
if I've
very
seen,
much evolved.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if I've seen. I liked his Comedy Central half hours, but I'm just not
Yeah.
sure. I can't remember if I've actually seen one of his actual specials other than that, other than like smaller sets on like other people's shows.
He's
and
on
stuff.
another level. And actually, you know what? Tig might take Sarah's place.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is solid.
With or without breasts.
Nice.
Well, God is
Yeah,
here
something
to give me
can
an
happen.
option.
No, she's hilarious.
No breasts, shirtless.
No breasts, shirtless.
It's a nude comedy show.
She's brilliant.
That's what she did on her HBO special.
Would you perform on a nude comedy show?
No.
They do them in like New York.
Yeah, I know. I want stage time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do it.
You don't think you'd do it?
I don't think I'd do it.
I think I'd do it.
I'm too self-conscious.
I could do it. Yeah.
It'd be weird.
I'm self-conscious too, but I think everyone there would be self-conscious, and that's why it would be like an interesting sensation.
Oh, God. I just don't know if I could do it.
Like, why?
I
What do you
don't
think?
know.
Like, oh, everyone's looking at my dick. Yeah, but once everyone sees your dick, there's nothing
But
else
not
to
even
worry
that, though.
about.
I'm
And it's
just
a
like-
showcase, so like
But
everyone's
it's not even.
nude.
That's not even like the part of it. It's just like I just am like how I look like completely. I don't know. Like I think people completely naked that aren't like. I think it's
See,
weird.
I don't get that because I look really good. So
Wow.
I don't understand that so
Good
much.
God. Good God.
I agree.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, yeah. So Paul F. Tompkins, who do you guys pick?
I'm probably gonna go Carlin, George Carlin. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm skipping ahead because he's my last.
Okay. See, he would have been my last, but I want Louis to close it out. I
Yeah.
love Louis so much. He's my favorite comedian.
I think
I love Louis too, and I think I just don't put him in there because I feel like every other comedian would put him in there.
Yeah,
Like I just
I
don't
know.
need to give Louis any credit anymore.
It
Like,
seems
he
like
doesn't
such
need
a
any
he
more stage
does my
time.
favorite show, but
Yeah.
like I don't ever want to give him credit anymore.
Yeah, I get that. It's such a cop-out answer, but he's legitimately like my favorite. I love
Yeah.
like all of his stuff.
Yeah,
like I
me
can't think of
too.
anything he's done that I don't.
that's why I don't want to
like.
give him a whole hour. That's why I wanted to give him like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I admired that.
Yeah,
I loved it.
It's like you can have 30, Louis.
can have 30
It's
minutes.
almost better than saying you can't show up.
Yeah, I
Is
can
that
just
you
picture-
can't headline.
Like I can just picture Louis just like hey, you think I could get on God's show? And I'm like, I can give you a feature spot.
That is so
That's
good.
great.
It's funny.
Like I can maybe help you out, man. I don't know. We'll see what we
God
got.
didn't really like season 3
God, I'm
so
gonna.
much.
Yeah, I can do
Louis.
it, but
we got Carlin and Tompkins. Carlin, I get, but Tompkins.
I'm sorry, Louis. I mean, if I give you the hour, I'm gonna have to bump Mark Maron.
That's
really
great.
good.
But
That's excellent.
like my final 2 hours would be Patrice O'Neill would be
That's a great choice.
just because.
Congratulations on having a cultured answer.
Yeah, exactly. Cultured answer. Just Patrice is one of my
I had
five.
Hannibal.
He's one of my 5 favorite
That's true.
comics.
My bad.
He's one of my 5 favorite comics ever. Like and I just
Well, he's
think
not urban, so I don't
he's
count.
not urban, so he doesn't count. Yeah,
He's basically a white guy.
but like Patrice is like this in that vein of like Patrice is aggressively silly. Like
Mhm.
he'll say like the most misogynistic and horrible things, and he's the only comic that can like say like Bill Burr has it sometimes where Bill Burr will say something like really like off kilter, off color, but you're just sitting there like it kind of makes sense. It's like he's the only person like and Patrice is just I don't know brilliant to me.
Well, what I love about Bill is the way he gets you to say that kind of makes sense. Is like he says something offensive and you go whoa, and then you just let him keep talking, and then he convinces you of like whoa,
Yeah,
that's fucked up, but I get what you're saying.
yeah. And
I kind of feel like Bill should have everything Louis has. Like I think he's slightly better.
I think the only reason Bill doesn't have everything Louis has is because he doesn't want everything that Louis has. Because every time I see it, Bill's like, I just want to be the guest on a show. I don't want to have my own show.
But he has his own Netflix show coming out.
It's like but it's like an animated show. Like
You
is
think
he-
that doesn't take as much work?
No,
as
no,
a
no. I'm
show?
saying is it's just like it's not the same.
Animated.
No, no, but it's
they just pay people to draw shit.
no, no, no. But it's like the difference is it's like
What did you say at the beginning of this podcast?
no, no. It's difficult.
What
but
did
it's
you
like,
do with Winston?
Yeah, exactly. But it's like Bill's not doing the drawing. I don't know if Bill is directing it, producing it, and that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what his role is on it. Is he even like one of the voice actors, or did he just create it? That like I'm saying like Louis has his show.
Louis has a show called Louis.
Yeah.
About Louis and all this stuff, and it's his face. Whereas like the animated series is 6 episodes on Netflix. You're not seeing Bill Burr's
But I mean,
actual face.
that
Like that's
may-
what the point I'm making.
But I think that goes back to what you're saying, like him not wanting everything Louis wants. It's
Yeah.
like not every comic needs to be like that thing.
I know that's what I'm
is
saying.
just-
You said he thinks he should have everything Louis have, and I said the only reason he doesn't is because he doesn't want. I don't think he wants all
right.
that.
I guess I meant when I said that I meant in regard to like how others regard him.
Oh,
Like,
okay. Then I completely agree.
okay. I think Bill Burr.
I was literally saying I thought you meant like why isn't Bill Burr hosting SNL? Why isn't Bill Burr like the actual material things?
Yeah.
And the only reason I think Bill Burr doesn't have that is because he would
Gotcha.
much rather be on the road 45 weeks out
Yeah,
of the
we
year.
are in complete agreement then.
Okay, that's what I was saying. Like I was like, why do you not agree with me? I was making, but yeah, Patrice is just like, he's like everything to me. Like I don't know. He's the first comic that I think I was really, really, really upset when I found out they died. Like it was just like that one like really bothered me
And just like you with Harris, I wasn't really familiar with Patrice until I found
until
out
after his
he got-
passing. Yeah, and
And now I can admit it's a huge loss, but I don't have the connection that
Yeah.
I had.
because it's like I was like, as I remember him from like one of the first shows I used to like sneak downstairs and watch on TV was Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn, and he was always a guest on that, and I loved it. And there was a period of time where I was into Opie and Anthony's show. I'm not really anymore, but I used to, and I just because I liked hearing Jim Norton and like those guys talk with Patrice.
Now you're into Opie and Jim.
Yeah, Opie and Jim. Sorry, Anthony, for your tirade there. You should. but I think that he's just got like the silliness mixed with like the edgier stuff that would flow perfectly into like my closer, which would be Richard Pryor. And Pryor's not one of my 5 favorite comics ever.
Yeah.
But he's the only person I could possibly think that could close a show and it wouldn't matter who went in front of him, except maybe Eddie Murphy in his prime. There's like the only 2 people that I think it doesn't matter who you put in front of them, they're going to do better than the person that was on in front of them. They will find a way to do better.
Yeah.
Like that's the
Yeah.
thing is like that's who you like. I
Richard
want,
Pryor's incredible.
Yeah, it's
Man,
amazing.
how mad is Jim Gaffigan that he's put himself out there as the guy who's a comedian who happens to be Christian and he's not on any of
How
these
mad
shows.
is Jim Gaffigan that Paige Campbell doesn't
Well,
consider?
I think Jim Gaffigan is just happy that him and his whole family are actually in the audience.
That's really good. All right, who's your last one?
Louis. Yeah.
Okay. So our 5 would be mine are Jesselnick into Pete Holmes into
Tig.
Sarah Tiggerman.
Sarah's
like
Tig.
Tigerman?
That's Tig with Sarah's breast. Is that? is that what that is?
Oh.
Oh my god.
Well, after I smile back, I'll take it. Sure. And to Paul F. Tompkins into George Carlin.
And mine was, I've got Bamford opening up, going right into Mulaney, then Louis, going into Patrice, and then Richard Pryor closing out.
Okay. I had T.J. Miller going into Hannibal Buress, going into Pete Holmes going into Carlin, and then Louis C.K. closing it out. So, real quick, honorable mentions.
Bill Burr. I can feel so bad that none of us put Burr in there after we had the discussion about Bill Burr.
I don't think Louis would allow Carlin to open for him.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't. I don't know.
But God's given us.
I love
God's
both of
letting
them,
us call the
but
shots.
Yeah.
I like Louis
Yeah,
more.
you don't like it, Louis? There's a show going on in hell you can get on.
But like realistically, the last Genius we heard from Carlin was like what in 2006. We've been hearing Genius from Louis since then. So hypothetically, if Carlin was still alive,
It's
maybe
reincarnation.
maybe the Genius he'd be getting out about society now will be even better than the stuff
Yeah,
that
That's
Louis
not
is
a bad
doing.
point.
That's
Not
true.
a bad point.
Other honorable mentions, like
I would put Norm Macdonald.
oh,
Honorable
man,
mention.
I feel bad I
Someone
didn't
gets
put him.
sick and they can't make it, even though this is a
But
God
but
thing.
here's the thing that's weird is it's
This
like
is who's going in.
Norm wouldn't. I don't know where he would fit in a show if you're trying to have a Florida
Yeah,
show.
that's true.
Because he's so
He's so
different.
Just different.
My
yeah.
my honorable mention is the person that I feel like I could swap out for either for John Mulaney is Nick Swartzen. And I love Nick Swartzen. I love how weird that he is, and it's just like he's just one of my favorite comics. I've always liked Nick Swartzen. He just had a big impact on me when I was younger.
I don't get it.
God, I just
I
love
like
it.
Nick Swartzen.
Actually, I'm kidding. He had a huge impact on me with Comedy Central Presents. I don't get him. I couldn't get through his last special.
Really,
Yeah.
I like Taste It.
Taste it.
I like it. I don't know. I liked it.
I just love really silly, just stupid premises, and that's what he does a lot of. Just really silly, hypothetical.
And I just like that it's he does seem to be having the most fun in comedy. You know what I mean? It's just he just seems to be having an absolute blast doing what he's doing, and I know that doesn't have anything to do with him as an artist, but it's just that's a career path I would like. It's just that I would be perfectly fine having his career.
You know how a bunch of Jersey people feel obligated to be all about Springsteen or Bon Jovi?
Yeah.
Do we feel a sense of any guilt at all that we're not home team? Patton's automatically in there as one of my favorite comics.
My
Not
thing was
really.
if we were doing if it was a different show, if
I'm not even talking about this show anymore. I'm just saying in general, why do we not feel like he's our representative, right? Our comedy representative.
well, I think the reason.
kind of.
Well, yeah, it's just weird because it's that makes sense.
Trevor
But-
Moore's from Charlottesville.
So is
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did know that. Yeah, that's awesome.
So.
yeah. So I don't know.
And I love him.
Patton's one of my favorite comics. He's always made a huge. But I guess it's weird just because he's from Northern Virginia. It doesn't really feel like he's home team. I don't know. It just feels different to me. He feels more like a DC comic to me. Which I
DC
mean,
Comics.
yeah, that might make sense. I don't know. He just seems. I get what you're saying though. He does geographically. Yeah, he's definitely home team, and it's but I just have never really thought of him that way. I don't know why. Probably because he hated living here, so much.
Yeah, but he still puts that in his Twitter bio. It's part of who he is.
Yeah.
He mentions Virginia in his book. My swap out would be John Oliver, and I only didn't put Bill Maher on the bill because, well, no, wait. Yeah, because he wouldn't do a show for God.
Oh man, I bet if he got invited by God, he would do it. And just be
He would.
Well, yeah, I mean, I said,
Looking
these
at him in
atheist
the
comics,
face.
but it's God literally invites you.
Yeah.
It's hey, can
He
you
just
come
says he
be on
needs
my
proof.
show?
Yeah.
I was like, oh well, there's a proof right there.
But then Bill has no
But
material.
then he has no material. Burns all his material.
who else though? Who else would be good for
I think Bo Burnham would be fun. Like you said, 15 minutes at the top.
I mean, it's a great question because I'm making you only pick 5
Yeah.
and asking you to list them. The honorable mentions are we don't get to answer these questions.
I know.
You know?
It's just oh yeah, no, you're right.
Who you leave out, who you leave out. It's not saying anything bad about them, but
Who would be? My question now is, if you had to put together the worst comedy show,
A show for hell. The devil comes to you and he says,
We
"You
would need
have
to
5 comics."
you need to torture these people.
Dude, the burn notice joke would kill in hell.
well, we did say that a God's gift to us after the show is that after those 5 comedians, we'd let local comic
Trevor
legend
Stewart.
Trevor Stewart do his hour after whoever our closer was. So George Carlin goes off on my show, and then we get to subject the audience to Trevor Stewart.
I just love seeing. I just like the thought
It's
of
brilliant.
Richard Pryor.
Trevor's very divisive for those of you who don't know.
I just like the visual of Richard Pryor getting off stage, then sitting in the back of the club that is heaven, just Trevor comes up. What the hell is this shit? just like what? Like I'm like this guy's following me. That'd be amazing. I would love it. It's like, what? And then someone like Maria Bamford would probably love it, just because she's so different. She's like, oh, this is great. Like, we just gotta get Zach Galifianakis in here to check this out.
Yeah, Zach Galifianakis would be.
He's an odd one.
He is.
The show for hell. I mean, like, as far as like hack answers, a bunch of people would just be like, you know, Dane Cook, fucking Carlos Mencia, Jeff Dunham, and then Larry the Cable Guy, and Dennis Miller. I don't know.
But realistically, who do you think would kill in hell? Like, not
Jeselnik.
Jeselnik.
Except,
you're
well,
right.
well,
Jeselnik
Satan
has to headline for hell.
Satan would get very jealous and probably kick him out.
Jeselnik's definitely up there. Sure. Maybe
Tosh has to be on the hell.
Doug Stanhope.
Yeah.
I think would do really well in hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are three. I think
that'd be a great setting for a special, just like Live from Hell.
Yeah, that'd be pretty.
You just set it to like look as much as
everyone's dressed as a demon.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty awesome.
It'd be metal.
It'd be pretty metal.
It'd be so metal.
You just have like Slayer as the side band, just like playing you on, and like when you go off.
Maybe Brian Posehn.
Yeah, he's like
pretty
really
metal.
into metal and stuff.
I
would love to
Tenacious
see.
D.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. That'd be solid. Yeah, it'd be a good show.
I would love to see.
They are a good show.
I would love to see a like a late night show from hell. It's like the devil's the host. And
Yeah.
he comes out and like Slayer's like the Roots, and instead of the Roots it's like Slayer.
Well, I mean, that was a Jeselnik offensive, sort of. I mean, he says he
Yeah.
always thinks of his persona as just the embodiment of Satan.
Yeah.
The coolest dude who could say whatever the fuck he wants. And like commenting on everything, like late night style. I guess that was just the offensive if Satan had a talk
That's
show.
true.
Yeah, that's true.
Man. God, I kind of want tickets to that show in heaven, though.
I know. How do you get in? How do they select the audience?
It's a bringer show. Like the show in hell is a bringer show. Is what it is.
Yeah, well, that's the twist. All these people have to kill, and it's just for hardcore Christians.
That'd be tough.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's like what hell is. Like hardcore atheist comedians. Like they're hardcore atheists their whole life, and they die, and like hell is they have to perform in front of like fundamentalist Christians their whole
there you
life,
go.
just like bombing every set.
No, like their hell is they have to perform in front of the other atheist comics who aren't laughing at their jokes because hell is an open mic at Eddie's with nothing but atheist comics.
I should say this. I said this at lunch. I think a great show I'd like to pitch to Comedy Central would be like find the shittiest open mics that just like never stop having an open mic all around the country, and to take 3 like well-known comics and make them do new material at the show for people who have no idea who they are.
I would love to see that. And it's the type of thing where most of them would just resort to. There have to be rules to it, right? Because most of them would just resort to like crowd work.
Doing what Chris does.
Yeah,
at
but
Eddie's,
it's like
yeah.
there have to be rules. Like you have to just do your material. You know.
Or you
can respond if they respond.
You could respond, sure. If
or maybe they give you
like
if they yell something at you, you get a certain number of responses.
Okay, that's
like
a good
you
rule.
get 3 in your 10 to 15 minute set of like you can say something back, but you have to decide when you want to do it, because if you use them all early and then people start ripping you open at the end, you have to like.
Yeah, but then
that'd
like,
be so much fun. I think it'd be
that works
funny.
fun as like a game show rule type thing, but
God.
I think if we were doing the show, just taking them to that setting
would be
that'd be
fascinating.
interesting enough
Yeah.
to watch, even if they did just do crowd work.
Like
the
I
whole
would just
time.
love to see like someone like we saw Kurt Braunohler in
Yeah.
Charlottesville, and he was so comfortable and so hilarious. But like I'd love to see him in front of a crowd that's just like didn't care at all.
Mhm.
Like it'd just be so fascinating. You know, it's
Yeah.
not that I want to see him in a bad do
yeah,
a bad set.
he was able to do great because we all were just like ready for a great show there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's such a fascinating idea to me. Just like people who like. I like really respect like not having a good set. I don't know why,
Mhm.
but like there was like a Louis episode where like he was doing like an hour at like some crappy club.
A charity event.
No, it was he was like it was The Road.
Oh,
It was the episode was called like The Road,
okay.
and he was like supposed to do an hour at like this crappy like club, and like he gets up and tells a joke from his special, like it was in one of his specials, and just nothing, and he has to do an hour. Like he goes, I forget what the joke was. But like just nothing, and it's like it's odd like that it's encouraging to me to see like Louis C.K. like not
Yeah.
do well, but
that's
it is.
That's a great episode though, because the dude that plays the feature act is like Do you know Jim Florentine?
Oh yeah, I saw this episode.
Okay.
That's a great double episode. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's so
The Road,
good.
Okay.
I just love that they picked like Jim Florentine because he portrays like that feature act that's been doing like fart and dick jokes for like 20 years, like
Yeah.
just so perfectly. Where he's just like you. I love.
But like
the-
he's not gonna get anywhere further.
And
Like not in
but
a
I
bad
love
way.
the argument that they have with each other, where he's just like, "You think you're so smart?" It's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like that's such a good episode. But you're right. Like I like seeing like you posted the like Pete Holmes bombing.
I need
seeing
to see that.
seeing famous comics bomb.
It's weirdly encouraging.
Like I don't like seeing funny people bomb because on the one hand because it's like, oh man, that stinks that happened to them, especially if it's like one of our friends. But at the same time, seeing someone who bombs, it's like it does happen to everybody because you hear it happens to everybody.
Yeah.
But like actually seeing it, you're like, okay, it's not me all the time.
I mean, I've said this before, but like I heard somebody say you're not a good comic until you've bombed 1,000 times. Not done 1,000 shows, bombed 1,000 times.
Because at this point, I've done 68 shows.
Yeah.
I've done stand-up 68 times.
And how many times do you think you bombed?
68 times.
I don't know, 10 maybe. We'll say 10.
Yeah.
Like truly bombed.
right. Now, do you count like E and J's bomb?
No, because I got laughs.
Mhm.
I count bombing.
It just wasn't a good show.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
count bombing like not getting any laughs at all. Like
Mhm.
even if it's like you know the material works and the crowd like even if it's just solely the crowd's terrible, it's still bombing,
Yeah.
right?
So did I bomb at Eddie's last night?
I feel like you got a few laughs.
Yeah,
I feel like bombing is getting no laughs.
The other 3 times at Eddie's.
Yeah, I mean that exactly. All
Yeah.
the Eddie shows, I definitely bombed.
Yeah, I don't even know like what. I have shows where I get off and I think I've bombed, and someone's like, "Oh, you did." You know what I mean? Like to me,
Yeah, isn't that
it's
weird?
It is weird because I'll have a show and people will be like, "Oh well," and then I'll have a show where I thought I got a lot of laughs, and it's one that I've actually recorded, and I'll go back and I'll be like, "Man, they laugh sounded so much louder when
Yeah,
I
when
was
you
on
were up
stage
there.
and in the moment."
Dude, when we did the Southern show that I recorded, I put it up on my YouTube page. Like, I thought that was one of my best sets, and I uploaded it before even rewatching it. And like, it's up there and it's all right, but I thought it would have been like the perfect portrayal of like what I want to be right now in this career,
right.
point in my career.
I think
Quote
like
unquote.
I definitely like bombed not this past week at Eddie's, but the week before was a bombing week. And
Yeah,
that was probably
and
that's
it's
the
so
worst
weird.
I've ever bombed.
And it wasn't
That's
on
horrible.
you, but like yeah, like you were telling jokes that consistently get laughs, and just people looked at you.
And I did like no energy, so I wasn't doing any crowd work. I was just like, I'm doing these shitty 10 minutes of jokes, and I hate you people. And I just ended with, I hope you all get in a car accident on your way
Yeah,
home
that was the
tonight. Like
best.
that was just like bye.
He said it like so upbeat. He was like, "Well, you guys have been fun. I hope you all die in a car crash."
I was like, bye. But yeah, I don't know. That's how I feel about it. But it is odd, like doing a show, and my perception of how a show goes is never the perception that other people have of it.
Yeah. Well, what's weird about bombing is, where are you going?
Nowhere. I just wanted to
Just
stand with
up
the
and
mic.
just like, oh my gosh.
What's weird about bombing is that it's like when you get off and you have a great set. When you get off and you have a great set, like it feels so good, right?
Like you're having sex and you get off, and it was like you were doing crunches, so you're like, great set.
right.
Sorry. Not good enough joke to interrupt.
Gosh, great set.
But when you bomb, it's like, for me at least, I don't even feel bad. I just feel nothing, and it's just
I feel horrible.
Really?
I feel like I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing.
Like when we went
Yeah.
to Mojo's, like I did 3.5 whatever he gave us minutes of jokes, and they were all jokes that always work.
Mhm.
No one laughed, and I got off, and I didn't feel bad. I just felt nothing. I wasn't angry. I wasn't upset. I just felt nothing.
I get angry and it makes me want to cry.
Yeah, see, it depends on the setting to me. If it's like when we did the Artful Dodger a few weeks ago or
Yeah.
last month, and I did all new material, like
Mhm.
there was this receptive crowd, but I felt like it was pretty much a bomb. Like,
Yeah.
like I wanted the jokes to do better. If people aren't listening and I don't get a response, I don't feel bad. But if people were like willing and I am just like not delivering, it sucks.
Yeah, it's worse because you can't really blame it on. That's the part that stinks if they're paying attention and they don't laugh, and you're just like, well, I can't get off stage and say the crowd wasn't paying attention,
Right.
Which is always a good cop out to make yourself feel a
Yeah.
little bit better.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess like and then part of me thinks about it is like, well, if an audience isn't paying attention, one thing that like comics do that I need to get better at is making them pay attention.
Yeah.
Like last night at Eddie's when there was like a table of like 6 people just sitting at the bar talking, and Chris just like yelled at them until they answered his question.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Because he just because I don't know if anyone else like it was kind of weird because he kept asking him, "Hey sir, table at the bar," and it's like there's no jokes for like a minute, and he's just like until they answer the question. And I was like, man, I wouldn't be comfortable to stand up there for a minute.
And then once he got their attention, they were willing to pay attention to him for a few minutes. I was like, well, that actually worked.
Yeah.
When he started yelling at them, I was like, there's no way he's getting their attention at all.
And he got it, bastard.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's something I need to work on and get better at. I know it's like it's commanding a room that's not paying attention.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think if you yell at someone enough or ask them enough questions, they'll eventually like at least look at you, and you can see if they're really interested or not. But you're right, that was the part that was most interesting, is they were really into the set after that.
Yeah.
And after he got them, like, involved.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's tough. We all got to work on it.
Comedy's hard, man.
Comedy is.
It's fun though.
A lot of people don't realize it, but it's hard.
They think it's all laughs.
Like that dude got up last night and like he had like a good idea,
Yeah.
but he was on like stage for like a minute.
I appreciated that he actually tried something.
Oh yeah,
original.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's just like he saw us and like he saw us going for 15 minutes and didn't realize how hard it was.
Because he was sitting at the bar and
You know?
he'd gone up a few previous weeks to do like one-liners and stuff, but they were like bar jokes. And like sitting at the bar, he's like, I was like, "You gonna go up tonight?" He's like, "Yeah." He said, "I just feel bad going up and like telling these crappy bar jokes." And he's like, "I write this stuff." He said, "But I work 70 hours a week." And I'm like, "Well, you're here. Go up, tell something original."
Yeah.
And he went up there and he had a good premise, and I gave him some notes on it afterwards. And I mean, they thanked me for it, but he was concerned about coming across like he was making fun of us. He thought we would take it because like I think he had heard that we didn't like how the host was like treating us like a few of the previous weeks. And I was like, dude, I said, honestly, we respect anybody that's going to go up there and do it. Like, and it's not like actively making fun of us for pursuing comedy.
Right.
Which, yeah. So I don't know. I was glad that he did that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I always like seeing.
I'm not like saying.
No,
what he
no,
did
but I
was
get what you're
wrong,
saying is
but
it's
I'm
like-
saying I think he saw us and like thought it was easier
Yes,
than it was.
I agree. And he gets up there and he sees it. It's like, whoa, that's way harder.
Yeah.
way harder than it actually is.
Yeah.
Which is good. I think everyone should get to do at least one open mic just for that reason. I feel like if everyone in the world mandatorily had to do an open mic comedy at one point, they're like at 13. Like that's it. That's how you
13.
13 is where it is, and you got to do it at Eddie's.
Apparently Seth Rogen started doing stand up when he was 13.
That's ridiculous.
Which is insane. I can't like he said his mom would drive him to gigs.
It was only like how old's the kid that comes to Artful Dodger sometimes?
I think he's 14.
That's absurd.
I don't know his actual name. They call him Jericho. I don't know his actual name.
Chris.
Yeah, Chris Jericho.
He's doing comedy.
I could see that.
He could do it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
guy does everything.
He's
I
an
agree.
entertainer. He's a true blue
I agree.
entertainer. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been the Paige Campbell Show, episode 35. Thank you for listening. If you did, if you didn't, I hate you. If you're on iTunes, give us a review, 5 stars. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, share the video with a friend. If you want a shirt, we have shirts. Sazzle.com/The Paige Campbell Show. Check it out. And follow us all on Twitter. I'm at Uncle Paige. Ken is at...
The Kenn Edwards. That's Ken with 2 N's. And while you're on iTunes, my podcast is called So Let's Get to the Point.
You got a song?
And mine is at Winston H Comedy. You can check me out on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook.
Just Winston Hodges.
Yeah, just Winston Hodges. And my Instagram is Cinema on Winston. And you can check it out.
Hey, what's the old podcast you used to do?
I don't know. It used to be called Mr. Nice Guy Review, because it was the whole premise of it was like I'm someone that doesn't have super discerning taste, so I like found out the good stuff and like everything.
Yeah.
So it's just me talking about like
Just
movies
stuff
and
you
pop culture.
liked.
And it's like years old. It was before I started doing comedy, and it's absurdly
Is it
terrible.
on iTunes?
No, it is not on iTunes.
Where is it?
It is on. You can find it on Facebook. Yeah, it's like because it's on the Mr. Nice Guy Review like fan page.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for listening.